5-minute view from the Cop, a slightly rain delayed version today. Difficult match against Bristol City. We came out 3-0 on the wrong side, which is never good, especially at home. Having said that, every cloud. I suppose one of the problems, obviously, we're going to get this season is we're going to struggle. And battling only gets you so far. And I'll just got to say, that overall, I think again, it's one of those we battled in this performance, but we're just always coming up short. And this is a problem. You're looking for where the goals are going to be coming from. You're looking at where the grit's going to be coming from in midfield and the creativity, and who's going to lead that back line. Few changes with the new lad from Manchester United coming straight into the side. Now he's sort of a left-sided defender, Harry Amas, and so was he going to be playing in Max Lowe's place, or was he going to be playing sort of on the left side of the midfield? Well, that's the way it ended up being, with three at the back, more or less: Otugbayo, Iofa, and Max Lowe. We've got Palmer in midfield. It's experience, but obviously he wouldn't be playing there. So sort of all over the park, you're looking at, who would have been playing there if we'd have got the players around from last season, and it's not really that many. We got Bannon in there, we got Ingelsson, and then, up front we'd got Ike Ugbo, who's still not really hit the ground running so far this season. So, it was always going to be a tough game today. Having said that, obviously from the bar that was set yesterday, with Sheffield United losing 5-0, we were hoping that we were going to get something out of this match. And we got off to probably the worst possible start, really, with our brand new player sticking the ball into his own net, and it was a bit weird, really, because I thought that they'd scored in any case. They seemed to just cut open our defence at will, and that really was the case for the first half. Really, that they could have had a lot more than three. Having said that, I think we had more possession, and we were a bit equal on shots, but they just seemed to just be coming at us sort of fairly straightforward, and out-muscling us, and the referee seemed to be giving him everything, which really didn't help, and people were starting to get on his case, as much as they were for our beloved chairman. But I thought we really struggled in that first half. That first goal just seemed just too easy, and I thought he was going to go in anyway, but I think he was going to go wide, and I don't know what he was trying to do, whether he was trying to just knock it past the post, but actually he knocked it inside the post and ended up scoring. So on the back foot, and 1-0 soon became 2-0. I think at that point it was about clearing your lines properly, and we found a lot of the time we'd got Charlie McNeil coming back to help out in defence, and he got himself into a great position, managed to take the ball off their forwards, but then when he cleared it just straight into space with somebody on their side, and they just ended up bringing it back in and scored from it. And I think the third one, I've not really seen these back yet, but I think the third one again was just a bit of head tennis in the box, but we just didn't deal with it, and The ball came over, went straight over our defender. They controlled it really well, but then shot it from a tight angle and scored. And it just really looked like every time they were going forward, they could have scored. But I think the XG at the end of the first half was still only something like 0.6. So it's suggesting that they got goals that really they didn't really, they weren't expected to at that point. So where do you go from there, really? You know, people were expecting that we were going to get absolutely steamrolled over. One or two were saying, wouldn't it be nice if we managed to pull back and get something out of it? But you were thinking, where's our goals going to be coming from? And we probably ended up that we needed to sort of change things at that point. As I say, you know, we got Ugbo and we got Charlie McNeil. Charlie McNeil did a lot of running. I thought he did all right. Ugbo, again, not really quite there. Not really quite effective enough, I think, from my point of view. The Amos new lad, he seemed to be very good going forward, very tricky. He caused them quite a few problems. Not really a defender, but you know, then if you're playing with three at the back, I think as we were, we just couldn't cope with them going forward. You know, they got Scott Twine and people like that in their side playing. In the middle, we always seemed okay, but I thought that with Max Lowe being an attacking defender and Harry Amos being an attacking defender or midfield, that we'd be left wide open on the left-hand side, but it was the right-hand side they seemed to be going down quite a lot, and they got a lot of change out of Jan Valery. He had a bit of a torrid time. He was being knocked all over the place, but they were coming out with the ball, and the referee were not giving him any change on that side. I think Palmer struggled a little bit as well. Bannon, I thought, was a few stray passes, which he has got in his locker, but that creativity and that tenacity, a little bit there, but not really as effective, I think, today. And we shouldn't really just be putting everything on him. Ingleson, I thought, was really good, and I thought was consistently probably our best player again throughout, and that's sort of really where he's been going with the with his game, and I think he's just come off being player of the month, so that's no surprise really there. But second half we really pushed on and we created a few chances. The game was fairly even. I think they probably took the foot off the accelerator at that point. Didn't really come forward that much. We had a few opportunities, nothing necessarily clear cut, and we didn't look very dominant really up front. Kadamatri came on, and obviously he scored at international level, so we were hoping that sort of that was going to be something he'd go into, and he did push himself around, made a nuisance of himself, and I thought he did quite well when he came on. And we also fetched on Jamal Lowe, who is sort of best on the wing. I just think, again, the shape, one of the things I seem to notice, and I mentioned this already about the fact that Charlie McNeil's coming back, and it's the state of the fact that we weren't getting the ball up, but he was supposed to be playing up front, and he seems to be playing quite far back in order to give that support, probably because we were having such a tough time on that side that he were getting stuck in, but then you've got no outlet. But you can't really blame these players. You know, they are trying, and you know, the manager, and they got a good set of applause as they were leaving the pitch. For the people that were left there, the crowd, it said 20,000, but it looked less than that, really. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was more like 16, 17, but apparently 20 is what it was. They brought a few, but we've seen more on that away end. Yeah, they deserve to win. I'd probably not a 3-0, probably more like a 2 or a 2-1. Did we deserve to get a goal? I'm not quite sure, but it was tough either way, I think, overall. Okay, well, let's see how we do against Grimsby in an empty stadium on Tuesday. Till then, bye for now.